Your average age is 41 years old. Your 20,000 card holders. These are the people on the roads. And they see in Montana, they see a huge upswing. Now remember that slide I showed earlier about how the card holders went up? Well, it's about the same time frame. They went from 5 fatalities here all the way up to 35. Now, am I saying that the marijuana caused the accident? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying here is the number of fatalities with this amount of marijuana in the system has increased. Well, why is that? Because more people are smoking marijuana, more people are smoking pot because they're medical marijuana cardos, and they're getting on our roads and they're driving. That's a public safety issue. That's where they say marijuana never killed anybody. Well, ask these people. Because without the marijuana, before they passed this law, look who was here. We were 9, 9, and 5. Well, now we're up to 35. Next slide. Same thing here. Remember the big jump? Remember card holders back about the third slide I showed you? Same thing here. This is driving under the influence of drugs in Montana. In South Dakota, we call it DWI. It's all the same. You're driving you're an impaired driver. Okay, here again, you go from when the cards went up, surprise, surprise, the arrest for driving under the influence of drugs went up as well. Why? Because there's more people smoking pot, they're impaired, and they're on the roads. Here's just an example of a marijuana individual driving his car, T-boned a lady in downtown Billings. She lost her baby out of it. Unattended deaths. Again, I know some of you have heard the phrase, marijuana never killed anybody. Well, we've never been able to study it, really. Now, granted, you can't smoke enough where you're going to die instantly, okay? But we've never been able to study it, okay, because it's a Schedule I drug, like you said, to determine, okay, if you smoke it for prolonged periods of time on a consistent basis, like you would do if you had relative access to it. Because you remember, under our initiative, right, I'm the card holder, I get to the doctor, he writes me my certificate, I get my card. For 1 year, that card's good. For 1 full year, I never have to go back and see the doc again. So whatever story I gave him, okay, fell off my skateboard, whatever that fell off the roof of my house, whatever the story, for 1 full year, I get to use as much marijuana as I want. As long as I don't possess more than 1 ounce. If I just keep smoking and smoking and smoking and smoking, I don't have to go to the doc until 1 year later. What other medicine is like that? Where you just get, here's a year's supply, knock yourself out. What normally happens in real medicine, you get a 30-day supply, and the doc knows exactly how much he gave you. 30 pills, 2 milligrams, 8 milligrams, whatever. He knows exactly how much he gave you. Well, with the marijuana system that's in place, if this thing would pass, the individual, the card holder, smokes all day long, every single day for an entire year if you want, if he chooses to, right? He can do that under the initiative. As long as he can grow his own pot, right? He's got a year's supply of pot right here in his basement. He just or he's got a caregiver he keeps throwing $300 an ounce out to and just smokes all day long. If you're if it's truly a medicine, what you want to do is give the patient the medicine, and then the doctor monitors your progress. How did you do in these 30 days? Did the medicine help you? Did it hurt you? What side effects did you have? Well, with the year of supply of marijuana, how's the doctor go? Well, in January 2010, you were good. What did you feel like in January 2011? What kind of diagnosis is any doctor going to be able to give on that? And that's one of the primary problems they have with it, I know, because I've heard them say it before. So a long-term study could show like marijuana might not kill you instantly, but eventually it might. Very similar to lung cancer. You can't smoke enough cigarettes to die in the same day. But you keep smoking them your entire life, it'll eventually catch up to you. Another example of individual driving his car impaired, crashed into a house. I'm going to talk about violence associated with grow houses, not dispensaries. Mr. Brown is right. It does say in our initiative you can't have dispensaries, which I find is funny. If I can't have a dispensary, well then how can anybody dispense the medication? Right? I'm a caregiver. You're my card holder. You're going to come to my house, pay me $300. I have your so-called medicine. Well, I can't dispense it if there's no dispensaries. It says right in the statute. So it conflicts right there. You can't have a dispensary, but I can dispense medicine. I don't quite understand it, but he's right. There aren't dispensaries like you see in Montana in Colorado. However, you can grow, like me, I'm the card holder, right, or the caregiver, I grow 30 plants, right? Well, me and three of my buddies become caregivers, they can have 30 plants. 30 plants. But 4 of us, we can have 120 plants in our house, because it's our primary residence. We can have it in our, we have 120 plants in our house, and each one of us will have 5 patients coming to our house. We'll have 20 people coming to that house. And they could be next to a daycare, they could be next to a college campus, they could be next to your house. And all the hours of the night, people are going to come to my house because I'm the caregiver and I got their medicine to dispense out the front door. Now, is that a dispensary? I don't know. Sounds like one to me, but if you look at the statute, you can't have multiple caregivers live in the house as long as they're primary residents. The violence associated with medical marijuana dispensaries, well documented in California, Montana, and Colorado. If I'm the caregiver, I have 5 card holders coming to my house paying me $300 an ounce. What do people know that I have in my house? It's a cash business. They know I got cash. They know I got a liquidable, right, commodity called marijuana. They can sell it. They can drive to Wisconsin and sell it just like those guys from Oregon. All right, I better speed along here so I get done. More examples of violence against dispensaries. Again, you're going to have people growing pot in houses to dispense out the front door to the caregivers. Here's your normal grow operation. I'll call it a pot lab. One thing you got to notice about a pot lab, when you grow marijuana, what do you need? What do you need to grow plants? Sunlight. Well, you're not going to have sunlight for 24 hours a day, so what they do is they have these grow lights and they pump in CO2 because marijuana needs a moist environment to grow in, moisture, right? When you put moisture inside a house, any house, eventually what's it going to produce? Long-term exposure to moisture in a house is going to produce what? Mold, black mold. Okay, so I got mold in my house because I grew pot there. I didn't know what's in there because it doesn't show up right away. I move away from the house. Do I have to disclose to you that I grew marijuana in the house to tell you that? What if I don't tell you and you suffer from black mold? Electrical issues, fire hazards, all part of the problems with growing marijuana in your house. I see my time is up. I don't know what that means, but I'll quit.
And as you may have noticed, this microphone's a little funky about where it is and where you speak into it, so I'm going to do the best I can.